Thank you, sir. Oh man, that was an interesting experience. What have we got here? Just sitting there. This is Tel Aviv. So I just witnessed basically a fight right over there. This is just the weirdest freaking bus station imaginable. I'm now back where I was. I've made a circle and it's just completely like a dimensional time warp MC Escher paradox of a bus station or something. And then there are all these signs and they say information tickets, and then you never find an information office, like anywhere you go. I went all the way around the 6th. Oh man, this is just the weirdest freaking place. Hope you don't mind if I follow you. This is it, I think. So this is Akko on the Mediterranean Sea. I have a hotel reserved here for 2 nights. I have to give a shout out to one of my viewers who recommended it in a comment, I think just yesterday, as I was trying to decide my plans. More about that in a second, but I wanted to read something about the bus station because the Israeli guy was right about it being deliberately constructed to be confusing. The station was deliberately designed to be confusing so that commuters would spend more time around the stores and thus more money. So it wasn't some sort of an artistic, we want people to have this weird experience or whatever. It was just to try to make more money, which obviously makes more sense, but still it doesn't make any sense. That's just totally wacky. If you read the whole Wikipedia page for this bus station, it is absolutely bonkers. They first started planning it in 1967. It wasn't completed until 1993. It took 26 years to build. It is the second largest bus station in the world. The largest bus station in the world, no surprise, is in Delhi, India. All right. So now I need to tell the story of crossing the border, because that was a whole crazy, weird experience. I have about a 20-minute walk over to my hotel. It's e-check-in or whatever, like self-check-in. So not exactly a hotel, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty nice. I can see this line of palm trees. Looks like it's leading toward the Mediterranean, getting those sea breezes. So that leads into my plans after Palestine and how I ended up here. And so rather than catch a taxi over to my hotel guest house place, then figured I would take advantage of the walk to tell the story. So, for those who might not have seen the previous videos, I will give a quick recap of my general situation here in now Israel. But as many of you know, I spent the past 4 days in Palestine. So I flew into Tel Aviv 4 days ago, went straight to Palestine, to Bethlehem, spent 2 nights there, and then took a taxi and a day tour to Ramallah. Now from there, I really wasn't sure of my plans, was going over all of the various possibilities, what I wanted to do, what were the practical realities, and despite the fact that I really wanted to see more and especially go experience the Dead Sea, one of the practicalities was that there's a major heat wave in effect. So as I showed when I was at Jericho and it was 95 degrees, that was not the heat wave. Now it's the heat wave. The high for today in Jericho is 107 Fahrenheit. That is like, I don't know, 43, 44. That is like, stay indoors in the AC. You should not be out adventuring. No point in it. It's not going to be fun. Even if it's a matter of going in the Dead Sea. I bet the waters are pretty warm at this point. And then trying to do the other exploring that I wanted to do, it just didn't make any sense. So somebody had recommended Akko. I checked the weather forecast and it was a high of like 88. It's warm, it's not hot, it's perfect. So that just all around made a whole lot more sense. So this morning when I woke up, I still wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do, but I was feeling like that was the best plan, was to head this direction, see how it went, and you know, maybe go back to Palestine later on this trip, although I might just end up flying out soon from either Haifa or Tel Aviv. So I wake up this morning. I hadn't booked anything because of the uncertainty as far as like another taxi or whatever, because for one thing, it's always just tricky figuring out these border crossing situations. So I decided, as I talked about in another video, rather than spending hours online with research trying to figure out, you know, which crossings can I cross and trying to nail down the route exactly or whatever, because I was looking on the map and it was showing this route going up through Palestine, up through the north, but I had no idea if that was actually doable. So I just get packed up this morning, get all ready, head down to the front desk of the hotel there in Ramallah and tell them I need to get to Akko. Any ideas for the best way to do it? And he says you need to go to the, I forget now, something that starts with a Q, Korlanya, something like that. Korlanya border crossing, which is straight south. And I clarified with him several times, you know, so I can't go west or northwest from here. I need to go down to whatever that was, Korlanya something. And he says, yeah, you have to go that way. And he is trying to help me figure out the best way to get a taxi to go there. And then this guy comes to the front desk as well, and they're talking in Arabic, and then the guy says, this guy is going to help you out. He'll take you there. And it's a little unclear. Okay, this is the cat convention. It's a little unclear what exactly he means by take me there. But the guy at the hotel is like a really nice guy, speaks good English. I am trusting his plan. And so I leave with this other guy. We go downstairs outside, and right away then two guys come out of nowhere, and he's talking with them, and there is nobody around. This is at 11:30 in the morning. It is a Friday, the Muslim holy day. This was also one of the factors. I knew that was the case, and I was wondering how that might complicate things as well. So it's just eerily quiet considering the previous day when it was really, really busy. And then this guy ends up talking with these two other guys for a good, I don't know, 5-6 minutes. I'm standing around no idea what's going on. You know, they're talking in Arabic. This other guy that I'm going with speaks almost no English. And whatever that was about, finally they wrap it up. And then this guy takes me to his car, and we get in it and start driving. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. If he's gonna take me to Jerusalem, drop me off at the border, or what. But he drives like 5 minutes and then pulls up to a taxi and talks with that guy. And so that was the plan, was he was taking me to a taxi that can take me to the border. So the first guy didn't charge me anything. The second guy charged 50 shekels to get to the border. And so I ride with that guy, and then I'm still not really sure where exactly he's gonna drop me off. He speaks almost no English as well. And so it's kind of a chaotic scene, as I showed in that one clip that I took. You know, the border area is kind of rough. Let's check the phone, make sure I'm going the right way here. All right, looking good. 10 minutes away. So once we arrive at the line of cars at the border crossing, then the taxi driver pulls up at this one like little sort of parking lot area, and then rolls down my window, and there's a car on the other side next to me. And he talks with him through the window. Now, that other car isn't a taxi. So I don't know how the guy knew that this other guy could give me a ride, but the other guy says that he will take me to Jerusalem for 100 shekels. That is $25, $26. Hello, how are you? How's it going? Good. Are you from? Are you from? Thank you. Are you from Akko?
Yeah.
This your town?
Hi.
Cool. I'm happy to be here.
Hi.
Hello. What are your names? Names?
My name is Mirna. My name is Jean.
Marina?
Ken.
Marina.
Yes. My name is Malek.
Malek?
Mizel Lushin.
Lushin.
Ken.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And so, this is a bit of an odd situation, especially since it isn't a taxi, but I'm basically going on, number one, what choice do I have at this point? I'm at the border, and there's no, like, you know, official setup of like, here's how you cross the border on foot, or here's where you catch the taxi, whatever. It's just like the line of cars. And then also I'm going on the fact that the guy at the hotel was trustworthy, it seemed, and so just kind of going with what was happening here. And so I get out, and then I get in this other car, and we get in the line, and then I'm explaining my plans, how I want to actually get to Akko, and he offers to take me to Tel Aviv for 350 shekels, which is about 90 bucks. It's like an hour-ish drive. And I try to haggle him down, and he isn't going to budge. And this is going to save me a whole lot of hassle. If I go to Jerusalem first, then I would certainly save money, because wherever I would end up in Jerusalem, I can take a tram to the main train station. From there, train to Tel Aviv. And then wherever the Tel Aviv train station is, I think that there is no train coming here, and so I would have to catch a bus, and so I'm aware of that. And so I'm thinking, well, this is going to be one big time suck, getting across Jerusalem, waiting for the next train to Tel Aviv, getting to Tel Aviv, And then wherever the train station is relative to the bus station, possibly having to cross Tel Aviv. And so trains, buses, maybe taxis, etc. And so it is sounding just all around worth it to pay the 90 bucks, get there straight. He says that he will drop me off at the bus station in Tel Aviv, and that is going to save me just a hell of a lot of headache and probably hours of time. So I decided to go with that. Hey there, it is the next day. This is the old town of Akko. My room at a guest house is right there. I am going to walk through the streets here. I will be recording another separate video showing more of the amazing old town of Akko, but I need to jump in here and explain the actual border crossing yesterday, because I totally skipped over actually explaining the specifics of what happened after the guy who gave me a ride, who wasn't a taxi driver, picked me up, and then we got in the line of cars to get to the border. So it wasn't very far to the border from there. It was quite close, but it was a long and very, very slow moving line of cars. It took, I would say, somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes or so. So right as we are seeing the checkpoint gates, then there was a random guy standing on the side of the road there, and my driver rolls down the window and says something to him, and then he gets in the car. So this is quite bizarre. I'm wondering, is this guy going with us all the way to Tel Aviv? What's going on here? But, you know, in a situation like that, it's kind of best to not make an issue out of it, and it turned out that was a good thing. So we get to the actual border finally, pull up, Israeli officer right there. I had my passport and my card, so when you enter Israel, you don't get stamped because of the issue of neighboring Muslim countries not allowing people in if you have visited Israel. So you just get a card that is separate, and then you throw that away when you leave Israel. Make sure to hold on to it while you are here, and then there's no proof that you were in Israel, depending on your stamps in your passport. But in my case, there are so many stamps in my passport, nobody's going to be able to figure out that there was like a gap in which I might have gone to Israel. So anyways, I hand them my passport and the card. They look at it, and that's it. No questions, no problems, super easy. So that was lucky. And then as for the random guy that got in the back seat, once we crossed the border and we're through the checkpoint, he jumped out right there, like within 50 feet or something of the border. So I guess what happened there was this guy was on foot. I assume that in that case you can't cross that border on foot. That's just my guess based on what happened there. And so he was standing around waiting for somebody to offer him a ride just over the border. And so, you know, we got through, and then he just jumps out, and maybe he was going to Jerusalem or something. But good thing that I didn't say anything and like make an issue out of it, because especially with the language barrier, because the driver didn't speak hardly any English, then it would have just been this, you know, weird situation. And so it was a relief when that guy jumped out, and it was just me and the driver, and it was actually a, you know, real private taxi ride. Okay, so now back to yesterday, explaining the rest of the story about this guy, the ride, etc., getting to the Tel Aviv bus station as I showed in my last video. Now, this guy was definitely a little weird. The clip of me getting out of the taxi was that guy But he was perfectly nice. He was just a little odd. He kept trying to give me things like food and stuff. So he tells me to open up the glove compartment, and I open it up, and it's all full of candies and little mini sodas. And so I grab a 7-Up, and then I have a leftover shawarma, half of a shawarma from yesterday. For people who might have wondered why I wasn't showing food in the last couple of videos, then I had shawarma both nights in Ramallah there, like the wrap, and took it back to my room and ate it there, so there really wasn't anything to show. And so I munch on my shawarma and drink the 7-Up from the thing there, and then he gives me a random pickle that's in a plastic bag for some reason. I mean, he's just like trying to be nice, but it wasn't entirely clear whether he was Arabic or Israeli, because the guy that dropped me off, the taxi driver, I'm pretty sure that he was speaking Arabic with him. I think that I would have noticed, even though I was, things were a little confusing, but I think that I would have noticed if the Arabic Palestinian taxi driver was talking Hebrew with that other guy. So I'm pretty sure that they were speaking Arabic. And then when he plugged in the bus station on his phone, then his phone was in Hebrew. So I guess he was probably Israeli Hebrew, but also spoke Arabic. Not sure. Anyway, it was just a little bit of a weird ride, not really being a taxi, and not having 100% confidence that, this was all completely legit, but my general sense was it was fine, and it was. And then, as you saw there, got to the bus station, and a very crazy scene around there, and that is discussed in the Wikipedia page of the bus station. What happened is that, so when they initially started planning the bus station and chose the location, then it was a nicer area back in 1967. And then since it took 26 years, then the city expanded, that neighborhood got neglected, and it is now what it is, like drug zone and just, homeless, and it's really like one of the worst neighborhoods of Tel Aviv, and that is where their central bus station is. I guess that bus station has basically been canceled, and they're building another one elsewhere. Who knows how long that will take, but anyways, it was a strange day, but it worked out. Here we are on the Mediterranean Sea, a nice mellow, relaxing scene. So Akko here is, I think, majority Arabic. I had read that online beforehand. It's a mix of Arabic or Palestinian and Israeli. But the old town looks really cool. Got some beaches. Not bad. All right, it'll be nice to take a swim tomorrow in the Mediterranean Sea. So I have 2 nights here, and once again, no idea after that, but let's get to the room, get checked in. Very pretty painting there. And nice little room. The AC is working. I'm so happy because, man, I am absolutely just dripping with sweat from that hike in the hot sun there. Better than 107 though. So it is 80 euros or $87 per night. Very spacious bathroom. And I will point out, for those who have noticed the colorful blanket that pops up in a lot of my videos, that is down there in the backpack. I bought it in India, in Vashisht, little town outside of Manali, back in 2014. And this is a good example of why it is an absolute essential for me to travel with a blanket. Look at that thing. We're in the Middle East in August, and this is a comforter for like Norway or something. So that blanket is really perfect, being kind of lightweight, so it is fairly thin for warmer weather, but then if it is cool out, it is also a little bit, it's thicker than a sheet or something, and so it keeps you warm if it is a cool evening, and it is just the right size for me. So I will be stuffing that away somewhere under the bed or whatever. Last night, my room in Ramallah, exact same thing, very thick comforter, so for me, it is a traveling essential. All right, that is gonna do it. I'm exhausted, I'm roasting hot, sweating away. Time for a nice cold shower and then get to work here. 2 nights here, tomorrow, then I will be doing something, filming around here, short bit of the city. It is going to be completely dead, I assume, because tomorrow is Saturday, the Jewish holy day, and they take it seriously. So it's not going to be the lively market scene that you otherwise would experience in the old town. I'm right in the old town here. So I'll do the best with whatever it is like tomorrow. See ya. So I have to add something because I just said that tomorrow is going to be dead because it is the Jewish holy day. But as I already said, this area is majority Arabic, Muslim, Palestinian, and so that won't apply. Tomorrow is not a Muslim holy day. Today is the Muslim holy day. So I don't know what tomorrow is going to be like, but I guess that it will probably be livelier than it would be if this was a Jewish city. So we'll find out tomorrow. So I'm out looking for a restaurant. Check out this incredible scene, the harbor. And look at this restaurant name. My brother's name is Christo. Abu Christo. Wow. This answers the question about today, as far as whether people were going to be out and about. Man, this is just so amazing. Also, there's a restaurant up there, Doniana. That looks expensive, but a nice view. This place is just wild. All these boats going out or coming back or whatever, both it looks like. Evening boat cruises, and then this whole scene is just incredible. Now I'm really curious to see what it's going to be like tomorrow. Is it going to be quieter or busier? This looks like a nice restaurant as well. Let's maybe give this a try. El Marsa. Good looking menu. Prices are reasonable. Beef carpaccio, 67. That is less than $20. Some of the fish gets very expensive. And they serve wine here. I'm ready for a nice cold glass of white wine.